I said on my last video that I was going to tackle another panel on my New York City 32,000 piece puzzle. So let's see what we got here. So this is, well, the 32,000 piece Ravensburger New York City Skyline puzzle. We have done 4 panels of it. I think if you probably saw my recent video or my video late last year where I put these 1, 2, 3, 4 panels together. Now we're going to tackle the other side. So I'm going to move it over onto the table, find the bag, and I think we're going to start with this one here. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll do this one. I'll work my way back and finish with this one last. So gonna dig it out, see if I can find a bag for that one, and then we'll get going on her. So if I go, here's my poster for this, which gives me a larger picture than the box has. This here is the book that tells you all about it, tells you about the buildings, everything else, and it gives you the different codes for the different which bag is which. So I'm going to need bag C. So let's see what I can find. So in the box here we've got the remaining bags, plus I've kept the bags that we have already used because they need the number. You need the number if you're ever going to need to require a piece. So far we're good. This one, if you see it starts with a B, that means that was bag B. So I need to find one in here that starts with a C. This has a lot of sky pieces, so I'm assuming it's going to be one of the top ones. And it is, that is bag D. That is not the one I want. This here appears to have sky pieces. I'm guessing this is it, but let's check and see. Find the code on the bag. Oh, here we are here. And the code on the bag starts with a C. So this is my bag. Underneath here, you can see where I've got all the assembled panels. So now we're down to 3 plus assembled panels. Those bags in there, we'll add another one right away and go at her. Because of where Ravensburger has a certain amount of dust, I usually like to take and, as opposed to dumping it on the table, dump it into boxes or containers. So I'm going to start with these, and I think that will help me to sort a little better. So I'm going to dump it out and we'll set up the camera and get going. All right, we got the bag open, got all the pieces in the bag. And just by looking at it, you look here, you can see, yes, there is dust. So usually I found that after doing the earlier ones, I put all the pieces in here, and then I pull from here and sort into smaller buckets, and that way I get rid of the dust leave it in the box as opposed to having it on my table. So got the bag here, need to fold that back up and put it in with the other bags here. And this panel number C there. Thought, well, okay, let's do a check. So pulled a piece out, and a piece that looks like this here. And if I go up here, you can see that fits on that tower right there. So yes, the bag is marked. The pieces are right. I've got the correct bag. So put the bag away, and then we will figure out, do a little bit of sorting, and then we will talk to you again then. Okay, the first sort is done, and as you can see, some of the famous Ravensburger dust. We'll probably dump it into that one. I think that's just one bag each. Should have saved it right from the beginning, but I didn't. So where are we at here? Just over 2.5 hours, and we got our first sort done. We have 1, 2, 3, what's this piece? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buckets. Oh, 11 if I count the edge pieces. These are my edge pieces. But because this is still a centerpiece, the edge pieces just go across the top here. Now, what do we got here? This bucket here is sky. Just plain sky pieces, nothing else on them. I may have made the odd mistake and thrown something in there, like this one. Doesn't belong there, but we'll worry about that and go through it later. This bucket here, with the stripes and stuff on it, that is this building here, as much as I can tell. This bucket here are very dark blues. That's this building here. So we will probably push all three of those aside to start. This is my, I'm not sure bucket. This will be a lot of this stuff here, these other buildings in between. So this is another bucket that'll get pushed aside. What we have here, this one here, is probably what I'll start with. This is sort of sky pieces as well as horizon. I know I've got a lot of the pieces for this in there, plus horizon, so that's one we'll start with. This one here is mostly, encompasses this area in here that's sort of far buildings on the far horizon. So those two can go together. This one is blues. I know I've got quite a bit of this building in there, some of that. I may have some of this here. So this is mostly blues. So this is another one that we can probably tackle fairly easily. These are my ever-loving black pieces that encompass this frame here and across the bottom and up both sides. So that one, as usual, is always my last bucket. This one here is my bucket, which has black plus black on only a partial piece. So if you see here, sky. So once we get, this helps as I start to do sky in other areas. So that's later on. This one here is greens. So that's probably mostly that building there. Another fairly easy one to start with. So we have 1, 2, probably 3, 4, and then there. So these will be these here will be the sort of 5 things I start with. The top edge, the green building, horizon, and then probably dig into these two, dump them out, sort them a little bit, see what we got, and we'll push these other one, this one here too. These buckets here will all get pushed aside. This is a real mismatch. This will need much more sorting again in the future, but for now we will just push it aside and we'll focus on these things here. So now we'll set the camera up and we'll actually start doing some of the puzzle. Okay, got the first 2 buckets are empty. One of them had the green pieces in here. As you can see, that's that building. And that is this building right there. So that is done. Got the top of this building here done, which goes up there. And then we have this horizon done along here. So, and oh, this little building right here is this one right there. So now kind of move them around a little bit, make myself a little more space and figure out which one of these 2 buckets to deal with. This bucket here, I think, is a lot of this building here. So I think we might tackle that one next. This bucket, I know, is sort of this stuff here in between. So one of the 2 of them, we'll figure it out and we'll go at her. So I'm going to set the camera back up and see what we get done. Well, pretty much emptied that bucket. Threw a few back that didn't really fit anywhere. But where are we at now? Well, we've kind of joined this whole horizon together with the distant buildings. The green building also got attached. And we've got to the top of this building here done, but we've got the black in between, so that's going to make that a little tough to connect for now. But we've got it connected through to the horizon on this side. So now the next bucket here, this one, should have the bulk of this building in it. So that's my next one. So we're going to put the camera back up and dig into this bucket and see what comes out of it. Okay, most of that bucket is gone. And you can see where we are now. This building's taking shape. Take a look at the picture here. We've got most of this building here done. You can see the gap in between is the black, which we'll wait till later. So now, not bad for my sort of first getting a full day on it. We're 8 hours in, but I think we're going to call her quits for today now. I think I've done enough. And then it means now, after that, well, I suppose I could do the top border, but that's not going to accomplish a lot at this point in time. So it'll be a matter of looking at either this bucket or this bucket here. Those two buckets there, that one or the dark one, that one's sky over there. And this one here is my miscellaneous. It's at some point we'll have to dig into that one too. If I look through it quickly, I find a piece I'm looking for, but I think not so many of these will be miscellaneous now that I've actually done some buildings. So we may take a look into that. Yeah, look, there's a couple pieces quite quickly. So either way, okay, gonna call her for today. We'll come back at her. Well, we'll see what the weather's like tomorrow, but we'll come back at her later. So that's good for now. Okay, let's take a look at where we're at here. Sorry if there's a lapse or a gap in the time lapse. My battery died of my camera yesterday. So anyway, here we are. Okay, I think last time I showed you we had this building pretty much complete, as well as the horizon here. There's a few pieces of water missing there, but I think those are mixed in with the sky. And a few others there. That is the top border. Managed to get this piece here done, which is this right here. So now we have this building and some along here. So I think I'm gonna have to tackle one of these two buildings here next. Maybe if I sort this one, I could probably do the side of this one and connect this together. Then maybe lead into that building there. So we'll take a look and see. I'll have to do a bit of sorting regardless. Okay, we got that sorted into two buckets. The larger one is this part of the building, and the smaller one is the angled on this part. So we're going to work on this one, and this one should allow me to connect this piece to this piece there. So I'm going to lay them out, take a look at them, and go to work. Okay, so I emptied that bucket and put all of these pieces here, as you can see. So now I've managed to join the top part down to mostly down to the bottom. That brings me down, pretty much brings me, this one here, pretty much brings me right to the bottom along here. So I think this is the bottom row here, short of the black. So now, what next? I've got 3 major buckets. I have these 2 buildings, and then what else is left there? I think I'm going to actually tackle this bucket here, which is my miscellaneous. I think that it will be easier to make some sorting here now, find some things, try to get some things. If I can get done around this building, then I think it will make this building easier. And I think this building, by looking at the pieces, I'll probably leave that till later in the process. So we'll do some sorting again and see what we come up with. Since I last chatted with you, what have we got done? I haven't really done any time lapse because I've been working all over the place and makes it not that easy to view. So what I did was I started going through my miscellaneous box and pulling out things, and for example, I pulled out this red building here. That was not too hard to find. Then I started pulling out some of these other pieces that could fit together. Then I went into my large bucket here, which is this big building in the middle, and I found all of the edge pieces. So now we have that building framed in, with this being the interior. And we now have this building here, the bottom corner here. This one here is kind of framed in, and that's all in there. So those are 2 big buckets that will take a major sort to do. I thought they might be easier to do once I've done some filled in this. Then I can use the pattern match to help me go through some of this. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So by going through this, I've now got this down to a very manageable amount. I have them all turned up. The few I've pulled out, which I feel I should know where they go. I've also pulled out, which is this building in this bottom corner. And these are ones that are all similar, which will be a building in here just below the yellow and above the red in this area. So it's allowed me to get this to a manageable level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fill in this area here and this side here. I'm going to work on those. I'll probably put this building together first, because now that I can see all the pieces, I can start to look for one specific piece and hopefully find it, build this down a little more, and then because I feel if I can get those done, both sides of those, then I'm down to just the 2 large buildings, sky and the black. So I'm going to start doing that. Maybe we'll set the camera up now and let you watch while I work on that. Okay, my miscellaneous bucket is empty. Get rid of that one. So now what does that leave us? Well, we have this bucket of black pieces, which is this building down in this corner, which looks a lot like this here. I think that's going to be a tough one, so I think we're going to throw that aside for now. I think that one will be better done once I do this middle building, because then I will be able to, by judging the pattern on left and right, I'll be able to find shapes more for this once this is done. So that's this bucket here. It's not too large. This is the bucket of sky pieces. which goes up there, obviously. No hurry to do that one just yet. Then we have the two smaller buckets, my bucket of black ones and my bucket of black and partial building, partial sky, stuff like that. So usually I find this one better to attack a little bit later on, probably after I do some sky pieces. So we're going to go after this building here first and see how we make out, and take it from there. So we got this building done. That means I now have another empty bucket. But as you can see, the big building in the middle. So now we're left with this building in this corner, which is this bucket. And then we have this sky and then our famous black pieces. So I think I may try to do the top border, have those pieces. Well, it's been a bit of a while since I talked to you, and a lot's been done. As you can see, we now have all of the sky done. I didn't set up the camera for this because I usually have the camera on this side and I needed to work from this side, and I just started picking away at it and it just kept coming. So we now have the sky complete. I went through my bucket of black and building and or sky pieces such as this, pulled out all the very recognizable ones, and as you can see, we got the bulk of the arch and the two corner frames done. We still have around down each side and across the bottom. That is all in here, and yet I know there's those other pieces are in there as well. They're just hard to pick out. We'll probably come back to them when we oh, here's one here. Should be able to find this one. There we go. We should be able to pick those out easier once we lay those all out and sort them. Then I think we'll see that. But I have that bucket and plus this bucket. Well, this bucket is this building here in the corner. And if you look at that, you can see it is one big blank corner here yet. I have noticed that in my partial pieces, I have these here, some with a blue and then the black on a vertical, or sorry, a horizontal, and some with a vertical. I am assuming those are the pieces that go around the outside, the bottom, and up this edge. So I'm going to attempt to put those together first. Then this is the remainder of all of the pieces that are in here for this building are all in here, so we're going to have to pull those out. There's a few that have this line on it here, which is across the bottom. That may help sort of secure the edge. Then I'm going to have to just lay them all out by shape, sort by shape, and go from there. And the only way I'm going to get that done is I'm going to have to pull this right out and sort it. I am still missing one piece over here. I'm really hoping that that shows up in that bucket there, or one of those two buckets. I look around, I don't see any other pieces in any other buckets. They're all empty. So we're hoping it's there. I've been lucky so far. There's been no missing pieces yet. If I look along the floor here, yeah, I don't see anything down here. So we'll see what happens. So I think we'll try around the edge here first with these pieces, and then we'll probably have to lay these out and sort them and see how it goes. So we'll set the camera up this time for you. Okay, we got all the pieces out of the bucket. We got them all sorted. I guess, well, first of all, you saw I managed to find that border. We found these pieces that had a little bit on them. They were fairly easy to find. Luckily, they connected to the bottom okay. Then, so now I need to fill in this spot. I have these pieces here. I usually sort these on one board. These are what I call my horizontals, and these are my verticals with the 2 ins, 2 outs. Then I got my little houses, my little sideways houses. I'm not sure what I call these guys. They're sort of, again, those are verticals, the horizontals. These are ones heading left, heading right. And then a couple of 4 ins and 4 outs. So they're all sorted. So now, the other good news is I found the one piece that was missing from here. That showed up, so I'm quite thrilled about that. Missing these 2 here, but I'm certain as I get through there, because they're virtually black pieces, they will show up. If they're not in here, they will be in there. So now the plan is that you saw me earlier using my old trusty pen here. This puzzle here has I think I mentioned it in earlier versions, it has a center row, which is a bit narrower than the other rows. It's this one here. So if I follow this down, and if I start to work right from that, there being my center row, if I start to work right from that, we'll find that the pieces match. They match, yeah, that's my center row, so I can now, this piece here I can start matching from that side. So what I will do is, if you look here, this piece here matches with that piece there in shape. So what I will do is I will find the appropriate row from here, and there again, don't really need the picture. Find this appropriate row here, find it over here, probably start at the top, start to work my way down. And so you'll notice me moving my pen across here. I do that so I don't lose track of the row, and it will help me to determine what exactly the shape is. I find that it's better, as opposed to trying to complete rows, I look for where these pieces might go. Anytime I can put in one of those, I use them first, as they are easier to find than these, and then I fill in with these as I move along. So I think you'll see that as we start. So let's get to work. So there we have it. This building is done. So now that only leaves me one bucket. And this is my forever loving black pieces, which go down this side, across the bottom, and up this side. And of course I have a few left on the arches. So I'll have to lay them all out, sort them by shape, and see what we can do. This is the least favorite part of this puzzle for me. I find these edges are tough, but that's okay. Let's get it done and finish this panel up. Done. Another one done. And no missing pieces. Love it. Actually, the border turned out to be not as difficult as I thought. Started with this side, as most of the ones on this side were not your standard 2 ins, 2 outs, so they were easy to figure out. Started from the top, came most of the way down till we hit here, where there's 2 ins and 2 outs, for not very long in the middle, to about here. Then we came to the bottom, worked our way up, finished those off On this side here, had a bit of trouble getting started, so I found looked for a somewhat unique one. I think it was this one here. Worked my way down, then started my way up again until I hit the standard 2 ins, 2 outs. Then came from the top down, finished that. These here, I always find the bottom easier because you know there's 2 of everything. So I went through, looked at all the different shapes, sorted them, put them in stacks of 2. And then I think there was one, this one here with a very large tab on it. Started with that one, found the corresponding one, and then worked either side from there. So, panel number 5 is done. So now, I guess that makes us what? Oh, 4,000 times 5, we're 20,000 pieces. But I know there are 4,300 and some, so we're actually a little more than that. But yeah, we're 20,000 pieces, 3 more to go. And got a lot of stuff to do around here, so it'll be a little bit till I get to the next one, but that's this one here done. I think I would tackle this one here next because I've just done this building. And if I look at this one here, this whole center building here is going to be a little bit challenging. This one here has got this at the top once again. So I think what we'll have to do on this one here is we'll have to do the left side first. Try to find those buildings, do all of the left side, then I can match pieces. Be able to get this corner, be able to match pieces moving to the right. I think that'll be the next one. And then 2 more to go. This one here looks challenging, but I think not as much because I can see how I can divide that up. And then here, so probably this one next. So that's it, 32,000 piece Ravensburger, 20,000 pieces done. If you like this video, give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And with that, we'll leave it there and catch you on the next video.